Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Affiliate Summit webinar, When Pinterest Met Affiliate Marketing with Tricia Meyer. For those of you who don't know Tricia Meyer, she runs a cashback and coupon site that also integrates blogging, a forum, product reviews, and videos. And because of this, Tricia has an understanding of everything from sub-ID tracking to data feeds to negotiating for coupon codes. And she happens to be a licensed attorney in Indiana. While at Indiana University School of Law, she served as an editor for the Federal Communications Law Journal and has since taught various business law courses. So today, she's going to go over everything that affiliates, merchants, and OPMs need to know about Pinterest and affiliate marketing, including terms of use, self-promotion, Skimlinks, backlinks, and generating traffic. So before we get started here today, I'm going to go over a little bit of Affiliate Summit information for you. And just so you know, we are recording this webinar, and as a follow-up to this email, I will send you a 10% discount code to Affiliate Summit East 2012, as well as the link to this recorded video. Don't worry, I won't spam you. You will only get this one email from me, and you will be BCC'd, so nobody else will get your email as well. In addition to that, I want to let you know that we are still open for registration for Affiliate Summit Central, which is taking place May 15th through the 16th, 2012 in Austin, Texas. You can go to affiliatesummit.com to get all the information on Affiliate Summit Central, as well as Affiliate Summit East, which is taking place August 12th through the 14th, 2012 in New York City at the Hilton, New York. And you can see the past prices in front of you, which are current. These prices do increase as time goes on, so I do encourage you to go ahead and purchase a ticket. But I also want to let you know that you could win a free networking pass to Affiliate Summit East 2012. There are several options for you to do this. If you head over to the affiliatesummit.com blog and type in free pass, you'll find a post with about 6 different bullets on ways you could get a free networking pass. But one of the ways is listed on the bit.ly link you see on the screen in front of you. Go ahead and write that down, because this is a simple way, and this is open until May 11th. If you download a flat Missy or a flat Sean, take a picture of yourself with that flat Missy or flat Sean at a location, check in on Foursquare, upload that picture, and then email realdeal@affiliatesummit.com, the link to that check-in, you will automatically get a free networking pass to Affiliate Summit East 2012. That's it. You're not entered into a contest. We're not going to pick you. You will get a free pass. So no excuses. Head on over to that bit.ly link you see right now, or after the webinar, find out more information, and I hope to see you at Affiliate Summit East. Also, we are looking for more presenters for our Affiliate Summit webinar series. So if you would like to present in this free webinar series, then please contact me at maryp@affiliatesummit.com. If you would like to blog about this webinar, do so at #AppSumWebinar. All right, well, that's it from me. I'm going to hand this over to Tricia, and let's get started.
All right. Thank you so much, Mary. I'm going to make sure that everyone can see my screen at this point. If you have any questions that you would like to ask, there's the question box over there to the right, and Mary is going to be keeping an eye on those for me as we go along. So thank you for attending When Pinterest Met Affiliate Marketing. Honestly, I think I kind of got roped into this because a couple of weeks ago I had done a blog post on my site about Pinterest and Skimlinks, and it became a really hot topic. And so I was going to initially do this presentation about affiliate links and Skimlinks and Pinterest and for merchants and affiliates and how that all worked together. But so much has changed just in the last couple of weeks since I volunteered to do the webinar. I've learned a whole lot. Pinterest has made some changes, so we're going to go through a lot of different things pretty quickly. As Mary mentioned, my first education was actually in the law, and I did write for the Federal Communications Law Journal, which is coming in handy now because my final thesis at the end of law school was about content versus service providers and liability, which is exactly what the Pinterest issue comes down to when it comes to copyright, and we'll talk about that a little bit. And then I made the switch to affiliate marketing, so I'm kind of in an interesting position right now that all of the things that are going on with Pinterest is really interesting to me, both as a lawyer and as an affiliate marketer. And there's my contact information down there at the bottom of the slide if you have any follow-up questions for me or want to talk any more about any of these issues. These are the things that we're going to be going over. It's a lot of topics. It started out as about 4 different topics, and the more research that I did, it just grew and grew and grew. So I'm going to only be touching on each different topic for a couple of minutes, but honestly, I think any one of these topics could have probably been a webinar unto itself. So if there are specific things that you want to know that we don't get into, feel free to ask them as questions or follow up with me afterward, and I can give you even more information than what I'm going to be giving in this webinar. But just kind of some basics of, what is Pinterest? We'll go through very quickly in case anybody isn't already on there. The deal with Skimlinks, what was going on there, what you need to be doing to make your site more pin-worthy, more pinnable, some backlink building exercises, some different competitive intelligence things that you might want to be doing with Pinterest. And then at the very end, hopefully I'll have time to get to them. I've got 6 or 7 bonus tips for anybody that's even already using Pinterest and things that you probably don't know. So we'll just jump into the Pinterest background here. And first of all, what is Pinterest? For those of you who aren't already on there or just starting to get in, it is invite only, and I use that in quotation marks because honestly, you just have to ask somebody else who's already on there for an invite. So if you did the application process on Pinterest and you're waiting for them to contact you back to get in, don't wait any further. Just ask somebody who's already on Pinterest, which is probably 90% of affiliate marketers. Just find someone on Facebook that is already talking about being on Pinterest, ask them to invite you, and you'll get in immediately. The focus on Pinterest is sharing images. It is all about sharing images. It's not really about sharing links. It's not about sharing content. It's about sharing images. Now, how we work that content and those links into those images is part of what we'll be talking about today. And what you're doing on Pinterest is you're creating pin boards. And I like to think of them as kind of like a scrapbook, or think about a teenage girl on her wall. She's got this bulletin board and she's pinning up all these things that interest her, pictures of her and her friends, or tickets for movies that she went to, kind of like your life on a board. That's kind of what Pinterest is like, and you set up these different pin boards. You can share your boards with friends. You can comment on pins. That's where the whole social sharing comes in. And the terminology that they use on Pinterest is repin. So when you're talking about Pinterest, like if you were on Twitter, you'd be saying you want people to retweet you, or if you want somebody to share your link on Facebook. When you're talking about Pinterest, you're talking about repinning the pins, and that's the means of social sharing. Why is Pinterest important? The demographic is the main demographic for most online shopping. That's why it's important to us as affiliate marketers. As of January, and again, this changes constantly because the site is growing so quickly, but as of January, 87% of the users were female. And if you know anything about online marketing, women tend to be the primary shoppers. Even more importantly, 29% are in that 35 to 44 age bracket, and 80% are between 25 and 54. That is the prime shopping demographic, women between 25 and 54 for almost any product you're selling. With few exceptions, women between 25 and 54 are who you're trying to target. And according to ComScore, Pinterest hit 11.7 million unique U.S. visitors in January, and it has grown even since then. So you can see if you're not at least investigating Pinterest, you're probably missing out on some part of the market that you're trying to hit as an affiliate marketer or as a merchant. The rise of Pinterest. This Shareaholic is a social sharing plugin that a lot of blog sites and different sites use, and this is just one example of how they're showing that Pinterest referral traffic is growing. And for the month of January, and this was before a lot of people even started adding the Pinterest to their sites, for the month of January alone, the referral traffic that they reported through Shareaholic from Pinterest was greater than that of YouTube, Google+, and LinkedIn combined. So you will hear some people throwing around the fact that Pinterest is having better referral traffic than Google, and people are confusing that with organic Google results. That's not the case, but it's Google+, YouTube, and LinkedIn combined. So you can see by the chart, that for being so new, that Pinterest really is referring a good deal of traffic. Now the legalities of Pinterest. I have seen so many articles, I've been seeing tweets, I've been seeing Facebook posts, people asking questions about what's legal and what's ethical to do on Pinterest, and no one really knows for sure. This is a very gray area, and I'm not here to give you legal advice as your attorney. This is just what I have found throughout my research, my interpretation of what I have found, and tends to be what the majority of attorneys who are writing about the issue have found. There are 3 different aspects of the legalities and ethics of Pinterest. And first and foremost are their terms of service. Looking at their terms of service and asking yourself, is it okay for me to continue to pin my own things? Do I need to be pinning other people's things, or can I pin my own? Is it okay to be using affiliate links? What happens if they change my affiliate links? Are they just allowed to change my links without even telling me? Well, the Pinterest terms of service in themselves basically says that anything that you put on there, they have the right to use it, copy it, adapt it, modify it, distribute it. They can do anything to it. So if you put an image up there with a link, they have the right to redirect that link if they want to. So understand, as we're going through all of this, what you're putting on Pinterest, you don't own anymore once you put it up there. If you put a link up there, you can't expect that Pinterest won't in any way modify that link going forward. In terms of self-promotion, they have what they call their pin etiquette, and it just says avoid self-promotion. It's designed to curate and share things you love, and that you can pin your own things, but not to use it purely as a tool for self-promotion. So, clearly they've left room for ambiguity here in their own terms of service and their own pin etiquette that says that you are allowed to do it, but at the same time, they could shut you down if you're doing too much of it. They could say, in the interest of their terms of service and their pin etiquette, if all you're doing is pinning your own stuff, they could close your accounts down. We haven't heard that yet, but again, they're new and they're still making a lot of changes. Now the FTC, this is incredibly important for affiliate marketers specifically. The FTC guidelines. The FTC guidelines are what we have to think about as bloggers, as affiliates, when we write a blog post that reviews something, and we put our affiliate links in there, and we have to put those disclosure statements on our blog, or at the bottom of the post, or wherever we're putting them on the reviews that we do. We have to disclose in some way on our blog sites when we're reviewing products, and there's a chance that we would be making money off of those products. So do the FTC guidelines also apply to Pinterest? And if so, who would be liable? Would Pinterest be liable? Would the affiliate be liable? Or would the merchant be liable? Historically, the FTC guidelines have been enforced against the merchants. So when you look at times in the past where there have been blog reviews or reviews of products where affiliate links were used, the FTC has kind of said in their videos that they're not going to pursue the bloggers, that they're going to look to those merchants. So if you're on this call and you're a merchant, you need to think about the affiliates that are using your links. If you're an affiliate, you also need to think about the ramifications for you and your merchant. And endorsement is really the key. So when you're pinning things and including affiliate links, what the FTC guidelines say is that if there's a connection between the endorser and the marketer of the product that might affect how people are evaluating that endorsement, it should be disclosed. So in layman's terms, if you pin a product and you say, this is the most awesome thing I've ever seen, this is so great, it's wonderful, everyone should buy one, and then you use your affiliate link and you could make money off of that, then you are endorsing it and you do stand a chance of making money because the marketer, the merchant, is paying you for that endorsement if somebody does buy the product. So I know a lot of affiliates are pinning and not using any kind of disclosure at all. As an affiliate and as a merchant, it is something that we do have to look to because it is something that the FTC could come back later and look at all of those pins. The other big issue is copyright, and this has really come to a head just in the last week because there is an attorney, blogger, I think also photographer, who had written a blog post and essentially said that she was shutting down her board, she was pulling everything because she was afraid that she was going to be held liable for any copyright infringement and it wasn't worth it for her. So obviously everybody starts looking at the terms and saying, well, if an attorney says that she's closing her board because she might be held liable, then maybe we all need to shut down our boards. Well, the more that I look at this issue, and if you think about it realistically, Pinterest has been around for a couple of years. This isn't something that's brand new, it's just brand new to a lot of us. They have a lot of investors, they have a lot of money behind them, and chances are really, really, really good that they have attorneys on staff or on retainer that have looked at all of these issues. If Pinterest really believed that what they were doing absolutely violated copyright law, no one would be investing in them. They wouldn't have a business model. So there is no black and white right now. It is all kind of gray. Pinterest is most likely a service provider under the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, which means that they would probably not be held liable because they have followed the Digital Millennium Copyright Act in terms of having an agent on file with the DMCA office. They have put things into place so that copyright owners can ask to have their images removed. So if you're a photographer and there are images up there, you can immediately report any images that are yours and they have to take them down. They also have released a no-pin meta tag that you can add to your website that will block Pinterest from being able to pull those images. So, Pinterest for its part can say, we as a service provider have done everything that we can to ensure that copyright owners copyrights are protected. Now, where a lot of people I've been seeing on Facebook and Twitter recently have been getting worried is, well, don't the terms of service of Pinterest say that if you use the site, you're liable for anything that happens and that you would have to defend Pinterest? Yes, that is true. But if Pinterest is okay under the DMCA, then it next comes to you as the user and whether you're violating the copyright law when you pin something of someone else's. And that comes down to most likely the fair use exception to the copyright law, and that's the Copyright Act of 1976 that I have cited at the bottom. The courts look to the commercial nature of the use of a work to determine whether or not the copyright has been violated and whether you're doing something that would harm that person's potential for making money. So if you're pinning a picture and you're not making any money off of that picture and the person whose picture you pinned isn't losing any money because you've pinned that picture, chances are pretty good that that's going to fall under fair use of the copyright law and you're not going to be liable for anything. But if you're still worried, after all of that, taking all of those things into consideration, and you want to use Pinterest, but you want to stay clear of any potential copyright violations, then my suggestions to you would be either pin your own images, stick to your own site and pinning what's on your site, but in doing that, you want to make sure that you're not running afoul of the constant self-promotion. So you may want to repin what other people have pinned, so you're not the first person in the stream. It would be the first person who would be in trouble, not you. You're just repinning something. Also pin from sites that have the pin button on their sites. A lot of bloggers, a lot of merchants are starting to put the pin it button right on their sites, embedded in their blog posts next to the products. You can assume that if they're putting that pin it button there that they want you to pin it and they're not going to be coming after you for copyright violations. Otherwise, you'd have a really good argument against them if they sued you that they were the ones that encouraged you to pin it. So pin from the sites that you see the pin buttons, or pin products that are not specific to one merchant. So if you're pinning book covers, movie covers, and things like that, there's not going to be anybody really that can come after you for a copyright violation. And the other thing would just be to properly cite any images that you do pin. You have that capability when you pin something to include a description, say whose image it was with a link back to that person's website where you got it, in addition to the link that's already behind the pin, included in your description as well, so that it's clear that you're giving credit to the copyright holder. So it's a lot of information, but as I said, if you have specific questions about any of those things, feel free to contact me afterwards as well. Pinterest for everyone. This section we're going to kind of go over things that are applicable to affiliates, to merchants, to OPMs, and things that everybody who uses Pinterest in general should know. Pinterest and Skimlinks. Pinterest was using Skimlinks to overwrite non-affiliate links, and affiliate links were not being touched. So what that means was if you pinned an image from Land's End to one of their products and it linked to Land's End, then Skimlinks would, the script that was on the site would change your direct link to Land's End to an affiliate link for Land's End, and then Skimlinks would be kind of a sub-affiliate of Pinterest, and so Pinterest would be making money. They were not overwriting affiliate links, but they were overwriting non-affiliate links, and within Skimlinks, they could have some different capabilities of just how they wanted to do that. They were choosing not to overwrite the affiliate links. Pinterest stopped using Skimlinks a couple of weeks ago. Now, was that the result of the backlash? Lots and lots of articles, a lot of media attention saying things like, Pinterest was duping its customers, a lot of really negative language being used about Pinterest. Was that the reason that they decided to stop using Skimlinks? Was it just a business decision because they weren't making enough money off of it anyway? Or was it because they're switching to direct affiliate links and not going to be using Skimlinks anymore? There's really no telling at this point. But the bottom line is that the Pinterest and Skimlinks relationship may not be completely over. And if they do decide to enable Skimlinks on the site again, they could overwrite all links, or they could overwrite only the non-affiliate links. They could also start using direct affiliate links of their own and overwrite your affiliate links. So it's just something to think about long term, that even though they're not using Skimlinks right now, it's clear that Pinterest knows affiliate marketing exists, and they know that they can make money off of affiliate marketing and their links. So I don't think this is the end of this issue, and if you're using the site as a merchant or as an affiliate marketer, you need to think about, what the long-term ramifications of spending a lot of time building your own links on this site would be if they're going to come in and overwrite those links eventually. How do you make your site pin-worthy and pinnable? So now we're going to kind of switch gears and talk about how to actually use the site for your own benefit. I mentioned before that the site is all about the visuals. To make your site pin-worthy, kind of like sponge-worthy, only not so exciting, you want to create strong visuals, infographics, and charts. So you want your site to have things that people want to pin, and it can't really be that they want to pin it because you have good content, because they could read a great article, but if there's kind of a so-so image with that article, they're not going to pin that image. So you have to make sure that the visuals that you're using are as strong as the content that you're writing on your site as well. And it means that we now need to make sure that we're adding clear images to every single post that we put out there. I think a lot of us used to use images just to kind of spice up our post, or maybe give it a cute thumbnail for, when it shows up on other social sharing sites. Now we need to make sure that those visuals, as closely as possible, represent what we're writing about, so that people will want to pin those images, and then people will want to click through those images further to the actual website. One thing that you can do is that you can add a pin it button to your other sharing buttons, whether it's on your blog or whether you're a merchant and you want to add it to your pages in your shopping cart. You can add, there are a lot of plugins now for WordPress if you want to do it the easy way. You can add that pin it button so that, number one, you're encouraging people. Number two, you're telling people it's okay. Is it necessary to add that to get people to pin things from your sites? No, it's not, because a lot of people, most people who are using Pinterest are already using some kind of app or, the bookmarklet within their browser. So people who are really into Pinterest are already using things that are going to help them pin. But might it help? Absolutely, because you're giving them that power of suggestion to say, oh wait, don't forget you can pin this, or even going further and saying, if you like this, pin it and share it with your friends, pushing them a little bit further. So make sure that your site has images, whether it's you have infographics that you create, charts. Don't just write about something, create a chart so that people can then pin the chart, and that will encourage other people then to come read about your data. Backlink building and for search engine optimization purposes has been one of the biggest reasons that a lot of affiliate marketers first started using Pinterest. And initially, Pinterest had a lot more do follow links than what it does right now, and they probably have even changed it since I put the PowerPoint together, because they've been changing so many things on the site as marketers are getting wind of how they can use it. So Pinterest has been changing things that were do follow links into no follow links, and I expect that there will need to be more changes coming as more people use it for SEO. That's what we've seen with most of the other social sharing sites that before had all do follow links, and when they figured out that they were kind of being used for SEO purposes by marketers, they started making things non-follow to no follow to discourage people from using the site for those purposes. So currently, as of, I think, last night, the source link on each pin is a do follow. So you're getting at least one link to your domain name. It's not, it deep links, but the anchor text is just your domain. So there is the one source link that is a deep link to your blog post or whatever page you pinned from, but it is just your domain name. The image links are currently no follow. Those used to be do follow. Those are no follow now. But one of the keys is that you want to make sure that you're including keywords in your pin description. So don't just pin the image and say, love this, gotta have it. If it's a, picture for me of a Hunger Games t-shirt, I need to say, love this Hunger Games t-shirt, I'm the biggest Hunger Games fan, love all the merchandise, go Team PETA, or something like that, to make sure that I've got some additional keywords in my description of that pin. And that can help us.
Welcome to GoToWebinar, Web Events Made Easy.
Tips about Pinterest right now, and it's because anybody can use it no matter what kind of market you're in, no matter whether you're using Pinterest yourself as a user or not. Finding the pin source. At the bottom in the red box I have pinterest.com/source/yourwebsite.com. And it doesn't have to be your website, it can be anyone's website. And in fact, I think it's almost more useful sometimes to look at other people's websites to see what's being pinned. What you can do with that is you can see who is pinning from your site and what are they pinning. So you can look and see, if you only have 3 or 4 pins from your site, why is that? You can look and see what they're pinning and maybe do more of whatever it is that you did to get them to pin. You can see what gets repinned. Within this source site, you can see what people have repinned. So you can see if you've pinned something 3 or 4 times, or other people have pinned it 3 or 4 times, then you can see how many repins and likes on each of those. As an affiliate, you can see what's being pinned from merchant sites. So if there are merchants that you work with, you can go and see what's being pinned from their sites, and that gives you a good idea of what people on Pinterest might be interested in that you might want to market yourself. So those might be things that you then write blog posts about and then link back to your site and hope that you'll get as many repins as the merchant, and then that will help you drive some more traffic to that merchant yourself. You can also figure out what your competitors are pinning. So you can look at competitors' websites and see what they're pinning and what's being pinned from their websites. You can also see how people are categorizing the pins and what kind of comments that they're leaving. So, if you have a shirt that gets pinned and you think that it's mainly for, fans of red t-shirts, and it turns out that it's people all posting about, Valentine's Day gift ideas, then you know that you might want to write a blog post, Valentine's Day gift ideas, and include that red shirt in there. So by looking at, not only what's being pinned, but you can see what boards people are pinning things to, so you can see how people are categorizing themselves, the things that they pin, and then you can see their comments. If people are saying, yeah, I would love that, but better if it was in blue, or that's great, but it's too expensive, that gives you some ideas about maybe needing to include coupon codes or look for that item at a lower price, and then if you write a blog post about it, write about how this is the best price that you've seen on that product. You can also check out the profiles of the people who are pinning from your sites, and this can be great, especially if you're a merchant or if you're building some kind of niche site as an affiliate, that by checking out the profiles of the people who are pinning from your sites, you can then connect with them in other ways. So if you see that someone has pinned a lot of things from your site or things similar to your site, and they have their Twitter account listed, then you go and you follow them on Twitter and you try to engage them there. So you're taking what you're learning on Pinterest, transferring it to a different social media, and in that way being able to connect with them better and maybe try to win them over as a customer. So I think that this, defining the pin sources, I think there are so many things that we haven't even figured out yet what we can do with this information, but for sure the things that I've listed can be useful to most merchants and affiliates. Running contests on Pinterest, I'm also starting to see a lot of this. I think Cafe Press must be running one this morning because I saw no less than 50 pins on my people that I'm following, of all people that are doing some kind of Cafe Press St. Patrick's Day contest. I found out about the contest just because I saw the pins, so I may now go and enter that contest because I see other people pinning. When you run the contest, there are so many different things you can do with this. You can have people repin. Something I've been doing with Sunshine Rewards was just to post a picture of a Disney gift card and say, repin this picture of the Disney gift card if you want to win it. And so now I'm seeing, people that are repinning it to Disney boards, to deals boards, to reward site boards. I'm seeing all different types of places that people are talking about Sunshine Rewards. Or if you're a merchant, you can ask them to create a board specifically of your products. And by doing these contests, you can increase the number of people that are repinning you. You can increase the number of people that are following your boards, which is more of a long-term tactic. And then you can also increase your site traffic. And if you want to figure out who the winner of your contest was, then you can just use that pin source process to select your winner, because you'll be able to see everyone that pinned whatever it is you wanted them to pin, even if you don't follow them. Just be sure that your terms are clear. The lawyer in me says running contests anywhere online can sometimes be tricky, so make sure that you're clear and you keep it as simple as possible. Now we're going to talk about a few affiliate and merchant-specific issues. Just a few, because really a lot of it does overlap. But here are just a few things that are specific to affiliates and specific to merchants/affiliate managers, OPMs. As an affiliate, you can add affiliate links to your pins. But first what you have to do is create that pin based on the image, whether it's an image on your site or an image on the merchant site. Then you have to go in and edit that pin to change the URL so that that URL is your affiliate link. And you have to do this quickly because you want to make sure that you change that URL before it gets repinned. However people repin your image is the link that's going to stick with it. So you need to make sure that you're changing that before it gets repinned so that you'll have your affiliate link on any of those repins. Now, a couple of things to think about when you do this. One is to make sure that you're using a sub-ID, and Ray Hoffman did a good article recently. Eric Nagel has done one about how to figure out how to add sub-IDs to your tracking. So no matter which network you're on, figure out how to add a sub-ID and just add the sub-ID pin or something like that so that when you do start seeing sales coming in, you can see if they're coming through Pinterest. And then you can get even more specific than that by, maybe specifically which pin it was, as much information as you want to include in that sub-ID traffic or tracking. But be careful of using just a direct, sharesale.com/whatever affiliate link, because there are some problems that you might have in the long run if you're using just those direct links. Number one, if the merchant changes their terms of service, and we are starting to see merchants coming out saying that you cannot put your links on Pinterest specifically, or they may say, on any site that you don't own. So if the merchant changes their terms and you have all of those pins out there, what are you going to do? Another is if a merchant removes you from the program, all of those links are dead, so you might want to try to replace them, but if everything's already been repinned, you're not going to be able to replace those. So the best idea would be to use some kind of redirected link, set up pretty links on your blog, or probably a lot easier for people who don't want to modify their htaccess or something like that. But there are some different programs you can use to create redirects. That way, if you do get removed from a program or a merchant changes their terms, you can go in your back end and change that redirect, and then you can either redirect it to a merchant site that you're still in the program, or redirect it just directly to the merchant site, depending upon how nice you want to be. But again, we talked earlier about the FTC issues, so it is something to think about in terms of adding affiliate links to the pins. Do you want to add affiliate links directly to these pins, or do you want to send people back to your site where you have a disclosure policy already in place and then not have to worry about any FTC issues if people do make purchases? For merchants, a lot of questions to think about. As a merchant, if you're an OPM and you're having this conversation with your merchants, which I know a lot of you are right now, things to think about, whether you should allow affiliates to put their affiliate links on Pinterest. Should you allow Pinterest to use affiliate links for your program? And this would be either direct links, if they do start working with CJ, ShareSale, LinkShare, GAN, or if they do turn their Skimlinks back on again, whether or not you should allow them to use those affiliate links. And some things that you want to think about, some questions that you want to ask, are you currently using Pinterest yourself, or do you intend to? Are you going to start creating an account and creating boards yourself and pinning your products, or are you going to allow this to be something that your merchants do or your affiliates do? You can sort of think about it in terms of like a paid search. Is this something that you're going to have somebody in-house that's going to be constantly monitoring and doing this, or is this something that you'd rather just leave to your affiliates, let them be the ones that spend the time and take the risk and the time that they're putting out? Also, are you adding the pin it button to your products on your site? Are you actively encouraging people to pin directly from your site? Are your competitors using Pinterest? This is a really good time to go in and use that source. Go in and look at all of your competitors and see, number one, are your competitors using Pinterest actively? Are they creating boards themselves? Are they pinning things themselves? Also look to see if their affiliates are using Pinterest with their affiliate links. So it might give you a competitive advantage one way or another, either to allow your affiliates to put their affiliate links, or to not allow your affiliates, depending upon what your niche is, what your competitors are like. Some of the pros of allowing your affiliates or allowing Pinterest with its own affiliate programs, you're getting that increased exposure on Pinterest. We saw over 11 million users just in January. If it's a demographic that is key to you, that increased exposure might be really important. More traffic, Martha Stewart Weddings is now saying that it's one of their top referrers. There was a great article on Mashable just last week about how a lot lot of online magazines are saying that Pinterest is becoming one of their top referrers. So they're getting an increase in traffic. You might see that increase in traffic. Low cost, low risk. If you're allowing your affiliates to do the work, there's low risk to you, and the low cost comes in because it's pay per performance only. And then there's also that opportunity to see people's comments and what they're doing with the pins. So we talked before about how you can see how people are categorizing things and the types of comments that they're leaving. It gives you some really good insight into your customers' minds if you are using Pinterest aggressively on your end, or even allowing your affiliates to, and then just monitoring your affiliates' pins as well. Some of the cons: you may feel like you're paying for traffic that you might already be getting. This would be the case specifically if Pinterest wanted to use their own affiliate links or turn the Skimlinks back on again. Also, the FTC issues. You don't want to be the merchant that ends up being the first one that the FTC goes after, because affiliates are using affiliate links without any kind of disclosure. So you have to think about that. And then also updating your terms of service. If you're not going to allow your affiliates to pin, you need to get in there and make sure that that's what your terms of service say, because you can't exactly go after an affiliate for doing something wrong if you never said it was wrong to begin with. So you need to take that into consideration as well. Now, this is my favorite slide because these are bonus tips that I think everyone should know. And there are some things that Pinterest doesn't make it obvious how you do these things, so they're kind of fun. The first is putting the price on an item, and that makes it appear in the gift guides section. Thank you, Eric Nagel, for that tip. I think there used to have specific breakdowns, but now there are even more, whether it's something between like $0 and $10 or $0 and $20 and $20 and $30. And if you want it to show up in those gift guides for specific prices, especially as we get closer to different holiday times, you might want to show up in that 0 to 10 category. And you think if people really start using Pinterest more and more, maybe they're going in and they're looking for gifts for people that are in that $0 to $10 range, and you want to make sure that you show up in those gift guides. By putting the price in your description, you're automatically showing up there. My second tip is that when you do create a board, you need to make sure that you go back in and you edit the board, not editing the pins, but edit the board itself to add the keywords, because I'm actually starting to see boards themselves ranking in the search engine results. So you can kind of think about it, as optimizing each one of your boards as much as you can with the title of your board, the description of your board, and then what you're pinning on that board and the descriptions of each of those pins. So when you create the board, make sure that you go back in later after you've created it and edit it so that you can add keywords into that description. You can also use a hashtag for searching purposes, and you can use those a couple of different ways. One is just to add a hashtag or two to the end of each of your descriptions so that other people will be able to find your pins. The second way would be to go in and find other people that are pinning other things that have already been pinned that you might want to repin onto your boards just to make your boards a little bit more robust, or people to follow. If you go in and do some hashtag searches yourself, then you might be able to find that information more easily than just using keywords. You can add links to your pin descriptions, even though you think, well, I'm already getting a link because I'm when I create the pin, it is creating that deep link for me. You can also add just a shorter link to your description. So if you're pinning something that's a deep link into a specific blog post of yours, you might just add the link to your main domain at the end of your description, or to see more products like this, visit, and then the link to your domain. It's not going to give you any SEO benefits, but it could very well be that the people that are looking at those pins, who don't even really realize that when they click on the pins, it takes them to the different places because they're spending most of their time just repinning and leaving comments. If you make it clear to them with a call to action to go visit the site, or to say something like get 10% off on this product at, and then whatever your coupon site is, or something like that, and just creates a little bit more of a call to action by adding that link to the end of your pin description. Something new that I discovered yesterday is that you can pin YouTube videos, and that I think a lot of people have been doing that already. But when you pin a YouTube video onto Pinterest, when someone clicks on that pin just to see what it is, it's going to start that video automatically. So the one thing that you have to absolutely make sure you do is you brand your videos, because it's not going to take them to your site. Instead, make sure that you have some kind of watermark, or at the beginning of your video specifically, but maybe the beginning and the end, make sure you're saying what your website is. The other thing is that when you pin these videos, they automatically show up on the Videos tab at the top of Pinterest. So I think a lot of people are now starting to go to Pinterest in addition just to looking at the visuals. They're going on to that videos tab and they're watching videos directly on Pinterest. So it's kind of, there aren't a lot of people pinning videos, not nearly as many as are pinning images, so it's a good time right now to get on there and get your videos pinned to make sure that you're getting in front of people that you otherwise wouldn't be because they're not looking for your board specifically, but they are just looking for videos. And lastly, think about creating landing pages on your site that are specifically for Pinterest users that are going to help engage them more on your site. So instead of just pinning, from every page on your site, create some Pinterest-specific landing pages. Think about the demographics of the people that are using Pinterest, the visual qualities of Pinterest, and instead of pinning from just regular pages, regular product pages, regular blog posts, create a couple of landing pages specific to Pinterest users, maybe with a deal that says, hey, Pinterest users, save 10% when you use the code Pinterest, or something similar. Create those landing pages and then pin a couple of products from those specific landing pages so that when they do click through, they feel like that call to action is speaking specifically to them, and then try to engage them on that page in the way that you see that they're already engaging on Pinterest. That's about as much information as I could possibly fit in 30 minutes, and I think I actually even went a little bit over that, but my contact information is here at the end. If anyone has any questions that they would like to type into the question box, Mary can help me with those. Otherwise, I appreciate the time that all of you took. Looks like we had a really great turnout today, and I know that Mary's going to be getting this webinar out, so if you have friends that didn't attend, or if you decide that you want to tweet it, blog about it, whatever, I think you'll be able to even embed the YouTube video into those as well to help spread the word a little bit more. There's a lot of misinformation out there about Pinterest, a lot of people that are afraid to use Pinterest, and a lot of people who think it's just a flash in the pan, but whether it's a flash in the pan or not, it's obviously working for a lot of people, so it's worth taking the time for all of us to figure out how we could be using it too.
Great. Thank you so much, Tricia. That was a great webinar. I hope everybody was able to benefit from it. And as Tricia said, please contact her if you have any other questions. I will be sending out the video links for this webinar, and I'll CC Tricia so that you can reply to her there as well. So I don't see any questions in the questions pane, so we will wrap this one up. Thank you so much, everyone.